Well, this is another fine mess you've gotten us into. What's up, everybody? Welcome aboard to Bubba's Bottom Line for January the 9th, 2022. And what's up, everybody? What a week it was. And of course, we've talked about it on these airways for weeks that it would be a pretty wild first week of the year. And boy, did we get it. In the meantime, the first part of this update will be brought to you by our friends at Strategic Wealth Preservation. That is where I do all my shopping for physical metals, whether I want to store them with them or I want to bring them home and put them in my own safe. But check them out, swpcayman.com/Bubba-trading. That's Sierra Whiskey Papa, Charlie Alpha Yankee, Michael Alpha November.com/Bubba-trading. And, well, I can tell you one thing. We are set up for hell for decades. Okay, the entire policy of this administration is totally destructing everything that we have built for and tearing it down brick by brick, piece by piece. Again, you can say as you wish, but the amount of debt that is being created, the lack of production that we are getting, you saw the jobs number on Friday, which was a total debacle. And of course, with a 3.9% employment rate, which tells us that most people have quit working and quit looking for work. Why? Well, because they get benefits. They get child care credits. They get this, they get that. So why go to work when I can make more money getting paid off by the government, which means that, of course, the middle class gets to help pay and foot that stupid bill when people are perfectly able, ready to go to work. And, you know, when you talk about a total meltdown of our supply chain, okay, why do you think it is? Well, it's because of the ignorance of the policies of governments and central banks around the globe, which have totally been destruction. Okay, not been any help. Okay, you know, it goes back to 2008 when they bailed out the banks for no reason. They should have never bailed out the banks because they were not all in trouble. What business do they let you make as much money as you can, go out of business, and then they put you back in business with no penalty and let you go back to making money? You know, you tell me, but the trade deficit is the worst in history. Okay, why is that? Well, I mean, again, when you have no supply chain, you have no ability to ship or receive, it's going to create a problem. Okay, when you forced cost of fuel up to 1.5 times what it was last year. Okay, I mean, last year crude oil was $30, now it's $80. I mean, not a very good position, not a very good situation. And of course, let's continue to fight for that green environment that they're not going to get and that none of their products are ready anyways. Okay, it would make absolutely no sense to slowly move towards a green environment. Let's try to do it all at once and cut down all the potential of producing oil and shipping oil and making money that we could actually maybe finance the debt, okay, that we're building for no reason. Instead of, let's sit here and pretend like we're going to get to this magical environment of a green environment tomorrow, when, of course, the United States is already the greenest environment. And of course, you know, I don't know, I'm getting really, you know, unions, and I'm sure many of you are union workers, and I'm not bashing you, but I am bashing unions in general. Okay. You know, in the 30s, unions were very important. It was to protect the worker, and without a doubt, it did its job. Okay, it's very similar to the minimum wage that was to protect women and children. Okay, but now we have got to a point of obscure and ridiculous. You know, the minute the mobsters got involved, the minute the union executives make more than all the employees, okay, the minute that they hold up these companies for more wages was the beginning of the end. And of course, you're seeing it within many of the school unions in Chicago. Of course, the schools have been closed for days now because of the union. And of course, they want more money. And of course, unfortunately, the funding does not get to where it's supposed to be. It does line the pockets of those that run unions. And now you've got Starbucks, which is already, from my understanding, they are a fair wage company and they pay very well to their employees. But now you've got, certain areas in Arizona and others that are walking out trying to get or having a union vote. In my opinion, union should be over. Okay, because again, they do nothing but suck out the money from the employer and the employee, and the money goes to where it shouldn't go. Very much like many of the charities that we get slammed over the head with so often, when of course 98 cents on the dollar goes to finance the workers and the runners of the charity versus the 2% that goes to the people who actually need it. Okay, somebody's got to do something about these things because basically it is legalized stealing. Okay, so I think you saw on Friday, the jobs report, and what does that mean for the Fed? Well, the Fed is ignorant and they're morons, and they have never made the right decision. In fact, as we know, they are still working on models that were built 108 years ago. Okay. And, listen, their job as a private corporation is to make money. Okay. And of course, they figured out how to scam and reduce value. Okay. And create inflation by destruction of the dollar. It's a shame what's going on. It is absolutely brutal. And of course, the mandate vaccinations and Biden's, legislation and his executive order can get, I think, as they say, run into a brick wall in the Supreme Court. And I think he's going to get told to be stuck up as what. But I think that you've got a lot of problems here. I mean, again, the globalism, okay, is incorrect and is not the correct model, because when you start giving away at the expense of the middle class money and things to have people exist when there are plenty of jobs available, again, it's a web you cannot get out of when you've created it so deeply. And if you haven't noticed, almost every small business in your neighborhood has been destructed by this very thing here. In the meantime, consumer credit, revolving credit is at record highs. Now, part of that is a mirage because, of course, everything is so much more expensive. If you go back to, let's say 50 years, and again, obviously there's always going to be some inflation, but the amount of inflation we are suffering now is a total bunch of shit that they tell us. Okay. There is no way that this inflation is 7.1%. Okay. That is impossible. I would say that inflation is more like 20%. Okay. Again, just look at what your costs are, what you paid in the past and what you pay now. Food and energy are, even though they are excluded from the report, are your biggest expenses. They are the average American's biggest expense. But of course, they don't gauge inflation on that. So why do you think revolving credit is at all-time highs? Okay. People are borrowing money because supposedly it's cheap. And of course, if you go back about 20 years, I would think, when they started, the first company came out with 90 days, same as cash. Okay. And of course, that was with a reason. Suck you in, get you to take something that you can't pay for, and you hope you can pay for it in 90 days, and you can't. And of course, the interest goes back to day one. Just another way to fleece the innocent, unsuspecting consumer out of their cash. Okay. These are the oldest shell games in the world. But I think that, we have so much ridiculous political crap going on globally, not just here. And again, this is not just about the Biden administration as bad as they are. This goes on and into the Australian Open tennis tournament. Novak Djokovic. Okay. Now, they made a statement months ago or weeks ago, okay, that everybody had to be vaccinated. Well, Djokovic is not vaccinated, but yet they are letting him in to play. Now, again, I don't personally care whether he's vaccinated or not. Okay. But I do care that they made a rule and they are bending the rule. Why? Because of money. Like everything else, money trumps it all. Okay. Which is the same reason that we see the inability to get pot federally legalized as the government sits back and waits for big companies to get in there and get their self set up so they can burn out all these little guys and they can't make any money. But of course, Altria and Constellation Brands and the rest, they'll make a fortune on the backs and the sweat of all the people that work so hard to get it legalized, to build this thing. And of course, to not have a federal mandate now to legalize it. Are you kidding me? I mean, this is a joke. It is as obvious as you could possibly see. But of course, my understanding as a kid growing up was that the Democratic Party was the party of the small. What we are learning is that they are not the party of the small. They are the party of the rich. Okay. And their tax the rich is a smokescreen for bullshit. Okay. Their tax the rich. Again, you could always change the tax code. If you really wanted to fix the tax system, you could change the code, but they don't want to do that. That would be silly. Okay. Because of course it would cut into their share and the lobbyist share of all the capital that they steal from everybody. The political system is busted. It is broken down. I don't care if you're a Republican or you're a Democrat. They all got their hands in our pockets, okay, simply chiseling away 1 penny at a time, $1 at a time, and you have no out, okay? You have no out. And the big question today is, will the Fed trigger a recession? Okay. Now, look, I think we're going to have a recession. I think I've talked about the markets in relationship to the Federal Reserve. And of course, there's no place else to go with your money. But the Fed is going to be forced because of this administration, because of the oil, because of inflation. The Federal Reserve is going to be forced to hike rates. And you're seeing rates fly right now. You're starting to see some inversions again, which is not a good sign. Okay. We cannot you cannot borrow your way out of debt. Okay. And the Fed thinks it can, which goes back to how stupid they are and how their models are broken. But again, they're really not designed to help us. That was a crock. And central banks have been stealing in London and in England since the 1600s. Okay. And of course, if you go back to the creature from Jekyll Island, you will see how they scam this. And of course, I think that I don't think there's a bank in the country, well, probably a couple, but most would not be able to pass a true stress test. Okay. That's my opinion. Am I right? I don't know. But I would venture to say that the same problems we saw in 2008 are coming again. Now, are they going to be tomorrow or in 2022? That I have no idea. I can't predict that. Okay. But you can see it is obvious that there are very major problems that are coming here and big stuff is happening. And of course, the administration could care less. This is the issue in which we deal with because they certainly have the salvation and the solving of the problem of high inflation by simply going back to fracking and shale producing. This is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, January the 9th, 2022. And, we got all kinds of stuff to talk, and we'll be back right after this break with our market report. Well, kids, again, I always want to remind you of the sponsors who help put this show on and make it work for everybody. And obviously with the daily updates and Bubba's Bottom Line. And of course, we've got a couple of brokerage partners, and look, again, I have many brokers, but the two that I support the most and the two that I use the most personally, okay, because everything I talk about here is vetted by me, is used by me. But for futures and commodities, there is nobody like the Capital Trading Group, CTG. Okay. Why? Because they got great service. They answer the phone because they're the only ones I could authorize for letter of direction trading. And because they have all my accounts that they execute for me. Plus they've got some great products of their own. Check them out. Go to capitaltradinggroup.com/Bubba. That's that's info.capitaltradinggroup.com/Bubba. And you can look below and see it's scrolling across. And of course, for equities and options, what about Trader? $10 a month. Now you think about that for a minute. How much commission did you pay in 2021? Okay. I paid $120. I would have paid over $100,000 had I had been at one of my other brokers trading as much as I was trading. But hey, that's up to you. It's your money. But I get to put my money in my IRA, in my Roth, and in my retirement account, in my pension. But hey, that's up to you. But certainly, if you want to check them out, it's Trade Your Brokerage. We've got their APIs, which for our equity members, we have the ability to automate their trading. Okay, at no charge. We don't charge. Trader doesn't charge, but it's automated. And of course, hedgers. There's a licensing fee because hedging is a class, which we do have one starting on Tuesday. I got one spot open. But in the meantime, check them out. Try.trader.com/Bubba. That's try.trader.com/Bubba. And farmers, look, Family Farms Group, they do such a great job to help the farming community. I'm a big fan. I wish they had a family farms for my business. But check them out, familyfarmsgroup.com/Bubba-trading. That's familyfarmsgroup.com/Bubba-trading. And of course, our high school program at Patreon, patreon.com/Bubba-trading. That's, Bubba Trading. And that's patreon.com/Bubba Trading. And now let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line and our market report with, of course, me, Todd Bubba Horowitz. Welcome back. It is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, January the 9th of 2022. Gotta get used to saying that. In the meantime, what a week it was for the markets. Man, oh man, did they get cranked. Okay. Not a surprise. Okay. And I think you're seeing some very interesting setups along the way of what is to come. And of course, when we look at the risk factors in markets, we are short two indices. We are long two indices. The two we are short are the higher risk, high reward markets, and the two we are long are the safer ones. And of course, that is, we're long the S&P and the Dow, and we're short the NASDAQ and the Russell. Now, as I tell you, I can't predict what's going to happen next, and I would not be surprised. And something to watch for, okay, like tomorrow or tonight if you watch, but more likely tomorrow around the actual opening. Okay. If you get a big spike higher, I'd probably look to be a seller, okay, as a trade, not as an investment. And if they crank them early and really beat the crap out of them, you may want to look to be a potential buyer. But all indexes were down across the board. Obviously, the Russell and NASDAQ much bigger. The metals are in trouble once again, too. Now, again, this interest rate market is torturing them. The Fed is torturing the metals. Look, I'm a buyer. I'm a fan. Now, I trade and I'm short. Okay. I'm short gold, silver, and would be short platinum, but we don't trade anymore. Okay. But I do buy physical. Okay. Because again, I'm separating my investing from my trading. And of course, the algorithms are short. And again, you could see we have opened up the door to see much lower prices in gold. There's probably 50 levels before it would get there, but 1450 is very much in the cards, but it ain't going to be tomorrow. It's going to take a long time because there's a lot of support levels on the way down. But silver looks bad, and silver looks like it wants to go back into the teens. And platinum, my God, it's been ugly. But in the meantime, it is what it is. But interest rates continue to fly. Okay, you got the 10-year up at 177 now. Now, we are short 10-years notes, which is good because their bonds are going down. Bonds and notes are going down because that's interest rates are going higher. Okay, they go inverse. and we're short both. And certainly, you're also seeing inversion in the short-term rates to the long-term rates. Okay. And that means that short-term money is more expensive than long-term money, which is never a good sign. Okay. It is supposed to be on a scale going back, but right now, high interest rates are here, and then a dip, and then high interest rates or medium interest rates here. But the highest part is the front end of the curve, which is not healthy. Okay. And of course, we talk about inflation. Look at lumber. Now, I mean, lumber is not liquid. It's a crap product. It's not tradable, but it certainly has flown and gone it went from 1,800 to 400 or 500. Now it's back around 1,400 again. Okay. That's inflation, baby. Copper. Okay. Which we are long. Again, it's been a crappy trade, but it looks like it's ready to break out and go much higher. Again, that would be tie in with the inflation as well. And natural gas, looks, and by the way, we're long copper. Okay. Natural gas looks to have found maybe a base. Now we're short. We've been short since over $6. But now it looks like it maybe have found a base. The last month or so, it's been channeling just under $4. Now we are, the good news for our short positions, we're going out of season where the real risk is. I mean, it's been a very mild winter and it's already January. And of course, the biggest fear for high prices usually comes, late in the fourth quarter. And as now they tend to wind down. But in the meantime, we're still short, but it does look like it could be finding a potential bottom here, 360, 370 range. And in crude oil, well, listen, let's just keep going up. Let's not protect ourselves. Let's let the criminals from OPEC stick it up our ass and rip us off or whatever they want. Because what do we care? Okay. We, the taxpayer, pay for it all anyways. What difference does it make? Okay. Maybe the takers would have to pay for something. Maybe they wouldn't be so aggressive with their crap policies. Okay. But in the meantime, again, it is what it is. I can't argue as much as I would love to argue. I can't argue with them because, again, I don't have the power. The dollar, we're short dollars now. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out here. If this selling continues, I would suspect you would see the dollar start to fly a little bit more, because one thing we do know for sure is that the U.S. dollar is a safe haven until it's no longer the reserve currency, but it is the reserve currency. And did you notice, by the way, that Mexico is now using not global, but digital currency? Okay, which is, again, we don't want digital currency. Okay, crypto we want the opportunity to trade it and buy if we want. But we don't want the government to have digital currency, because that just gives them an easier hand at taking and reducing your net value. Okay. In the meantime, we are short dollars here, but I would not be surprised if you saw some movement in the grain markets. Again, we're long corn, which was higher. Soybeans broke out nicely. Okay, and we're long. Wheat came off the bottom, but still was down. I mean, look, wheat's probably going lower. Okay, we're short wheat, long beans, long wheat, long corn, and in the protein complex, we're long across the board. They're all just kind of hovering, kind of waiting to see. Hogs, I think, will be very strong, because with this inflation, people want protein, so it's chicken, beef, or pork. Okay, well, pork is the cheapest. Okay, and eventually, when people have to start to make a decision whether they want to go to work and drive or they want to eat, they're going to eat. Okay, but again, so we're long them all. And of course, in the softs, cotton had a nice up week. We're long. Coffee exploded higher, but didn't explode till late in the week, but it came right down to support and pop. We're still short. Sugar got hammered. We're short. Cocoa been a little choppy. We got long, we got short, and now we're long again. Okay, or we will be getting long again tomorrow. And OJ continues to go higher, which we're long. You play the trends, because the trend, as they say, is your friend and allows you the best opportunity to make the most amount of money. The Bitcoin, look, it's under pressure. I mean, it's not a surprise. We talked about this. It made new highs. Now it's threatening to go below 40,000. Okay, and it's probably a buying opportunity somewhere down in these. And again, I'm not telling you about go buy $40,000 Bitcoin, but I mean, somewhere around here, it's probably a buying opportunity. And there's probably some other good ones that are probably some buying opportunities. It just depends. Like, again, I'm a supporter. I'm an owner. I'm involved, but not to any degree that if I lost it all tomorrow, I would not lose any sleep. Okay. But it is becoming more accepted. I think you're going to see much more activity in the space. And of course, I do call it the currency of the libertarian. In the meantime, let us step out here for our final break. And we'll be back with, of course, my commentary and, of course, Sunday night football. And, of course, we'll give the Monday game for college as well. This is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Todd Bubba Horowitz. It is Sunday, January the 9th, 2022. And we'll be right back. Well, kids, you know, I'm not going to go through all the speeches of the great supporters of me and my sponsors. I will just quickly tell you, Capital Trading Group, info.capitaltradinggroup.com/Bubba. Trade Your Brokerage, try.tradeyour.com/Bubba. And Strategic Wealth Preservation, swpcayman.com/Bubba-trading. And familyfarmsgroup.com/Bubba-trading. And, of course, our high school program at patreon.com/Bubba Trading. Now, let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line and my commentary and, of course, football. Welcome back. It is Bubba's Bottom Line for Sunday, January the 9th. And as you know, I always have something to say. And usually I'm bitching about something. And I found something new to bitch about. Okay. And so my question actually is, do you ever think the virus and the vaccines, again, we know the virus was real. How it got here, I think it came from China. But whatever it is, we know the pandemic was real. Okay. I don't think we handled it very well, but we know it was real. But now that we're into the vaccines, we're into the boosters and the next boosters. And I go, is it now become a scam to almost create dependency so that these drug companies can now clean up? Okay. Now, here's what I'm looking at. Okay. When you look at places around the globe, like in Africa, there is no vaccines. They got no vaccines there. Why? Because there's no future of possible money. Okay. Versus the United States, where, again, the more they create, it's like the pharmaceuticals create these products with the government's help, mind you. Okay. And at the end of the day, who gets fleeced? Of course, we do. Okay. So the question is, I mean, is it a scam, all these variants? Because from my understanding, the Omicron variant is nothing more than a cold. Okay. And I know many people that have had it now. Okay. I don't even know if I've had it yet because I don't go out, so I don't have to worry about it. But I have been tested for COVID and have not had that yet that I know. But so I'm wondering, is this a scam to create more medicals, more medicine, okay, more prescription drugs, and more ways for the pharmaceuticals to make bigger money? Now, I don't know if I'm right or I'm not, but certainly I find it very concerning, very much like those doctors, you know, the drug dealers that make you have to keep going back for relief, okay, and you never escape. So I don't know. I'm always skeptical, okay. Again, I didn't like anything I don't like the way this whole thing's been handled the entire time. But now I keep seeing more announcements for more boosters, more of this, more of that. Makes me wonder if it's now become down to the money. And speaking of money, we got football tonight. A big game. Wow. I can only tell you this. I am taking a very big position. I already took it on the Los Angeles Chargers against the Las Vegas Raiders. Okay. I laid 2.5. Okay. Now I took a big position. Now, again, I'm betting on two things. The first thing is that the Chargers are going to show up and play a normal game. You know, if they play like they can play, they'll get drilled. It'll be over. I'll be busted after the first half. Okay, but I do believe they're going to play. I do believe that the Raiders have just run their course, and I know they have a lot of breaks. But again, you can take that for what it's worth. And of course, tomorrow night you've got the Alabama-Georgia game. Okay. And there's a rematch of a couple of weeks ago when Georgia was a 7-point favorite and got drilled. And now Georgia's a 3-point favorite. And look, Nick Saban as an underdog, statistically speaking, is about a 90% win percentage. Okay. How can I fight that? I am taking the 3 points. I am taking Alabama. Okay. And I don't see any other way to play it. And I will be taking that for some serious shekels as well. But in the meantime, Happy New Year, everybody. I hope it's a great year. I do think that we're going to have a monster year in our departments. I think that this reversion and, because everything happens and statistical anomalies, which I think were last year. But in the meantime, everybody have a great day. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the football game tonight and the championship game tomorrow. We will see tomorrow with Bubba's Bottom Line. But in the meantime, Happy New Year. Great to be with you. Bubba's Bottom Line, January the 9th, 2022. We will see you back here either tomorrow with Bubba's Day Update or next week with another Bubba's Bottom Line. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you later.